Okay, let's knock out the last of the gunpla Gundams stuff that's ready to go up on the shelf. Let's finish out that shelf so that we can we move on to many other videos. Okay, so let's avoid another appearance by Longhair Bill, shall we? Shall we do that? Shall we try this time to not sound like a frickin' idiot and not even know my own birthday? I cannot believe I did that. Oh well, at least he's back in the show to set me right. So let's talk about first two things that are in high debate as to whether or not they go back on the shelf. High debate. These mini gunpla. They're super tiny. They're a neat concept. They were way tougher to build than I thought they were going to be. Like, way tougher. When I first got them, I was like, okay, so they're small. They won't be that hard to make or whatever. They were a lot tougher than I feel they should have been. And it's probably because they're so small and they don't really want to snap together. Like even his leg still has a gap here where I just could not push that together no matter what I did. They're fine for what it's worth, but these are just not... I think they're out. They don't even take up that much space, but they serve no purpose. They're cool. They're little knick-knack things if you guys have any kind of interest whatsoever in these mini gunpla. I found them in passing when I was... One of the final times that I was going to I think it was Toys R Us, right before they shut down Toys R Us. There was this aisle and it had a bunch of stuff in it, and then there was those grab boxes things, and then they were kind of in with those grab box things, those mystery boxes, but you could tell exactly what they were. They said they were little gunplas, and it came in a box. It was about that big, and I was like, that's crazy. It's like a little gunpla. So I bought an RX-78 and I bought Char's Zaku 2, and I was like, awesome. Took it home, struggled through building the two of them, and it was, strangely enough, it was just... I don't seem to remember it being complicated, just that the parts are small and they're a pain in the ass and they didn't want to cooperate with me, and so yeah. I think they serve a better purpose, honestly, if I either just kind of tossed them out, gave them to somebody, or I might put them in a bag, take them with me, and I might just add them. I have a couple things that I keep at work. I have a Batman black and white statue from one of those grab bags. I have the extra Xavier because when I was picking up the little X-Men things, there are those mystery things that come in a box. So when I opened it up, I got two Xaviers. I took one to work and just put him on my desk. That might be what happens with these. I don't know. Oh well, so this is the final remnant of the Federation stuff that's going on the shelf. We've talked about him. He is still, even now, one of my all-time favorite gunpla. He's one of my all-time favorite Gundams. Look, when you do it right, you do it right. When you hit the ground running, you hit the ground running. This guy is solid. He's been solid every time I've made him. And there is a couple of things left to build when we're done here in terms of what I have left. Now keep in mind, I've made a lot more Gundam than I have. A lot more stuff than you're going to see on the shelf. It's just that I made a whole bunch of gunpla. I was a kid. I was stupid. I played a lot with them. They got damaged. They got destroyed. Later on, I built more gunpla. And I lost them all during a point in time in my life where I was just stupid. I was stupid. I thought that I had the world figured out. I was moving forward. I was doing the grown-up thing. And boy, this adulting thing isn't nearly as hard as everybody says it is. And then before I realized what was even going on, basically my whole fucking world blew up in my face. And I lost a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of stuff. And the gunpla was part of that lot of stuff that I lost. So there's a lot of stuff that could have ended up on this shelf that simply I don't have anymore. The stuff that's left to make, I have another RX-78. I have the new Gundam. I have a variant of Wing. I have a Wing. I have a Char Zagok, Psycho Gundam, and a couple of other things here and there, what we've talked about in other episodes when I put all the boxes up there. This is one of the oldest ones I think I have. In terms of my shelf, I think this guy is the oldest guy I have. This is a Char Custom Zaku 2, like from the... in terms of my age, this guy was like one of the original models. Like when I very first started in Gunpla, this was the series of Gunpla that was out. This is what I bought. He's kind of fat. His coloring is way different than it is. He's got the sticker for the eye. That eye does not move. Most of the new guys, their eyes actually move. He doesn't have much give. Actually, he has no give at all in the skirt. The skirt does not move. These legs just do what they do. He's cool in terms of he's one of the early things, and he's cool to have on the shelf to kind of see as a comparison. But it was back before they got a little better about things like that. That's his foot. That's what he's got. It's not great. His knees, they bend, but the outside wire is a lot less giving than the newer models. He's just old. He's cool, but he's old. Okay, let's move on to the last two guys. The last two guys in my collection of stuff that's going up currently is this. Rumble Rawl, right there. Easily one of my all-time favorite. Now, I refer to this as a guff. I've heard it called a goof. I've heard it called a guff. MS-06 guff is what I always say. I've been corrected, and then at the same time, when I started saying goof again, I got corrected again. So look, I've even heard the anime call it two different ways here in America. I think my best shot would just literally be to look up the actual anime, because I've never actually watched the original anime in Japanese. I've always seen the dub, whatever dub happened to be available. So maybe that should be my real step to guaranteeing exactly how you're supposed to say it. But I love this thing. This is easily one of my all-time favorite units ever produced in all of Gundam history. And yes, that includes all the new stuff. This guy is amazingly solid. And he has some real key features that I like a lot. One of the key features is this sword. I think this is sharp. Like, this is really nice. I love that color. I love the fact that this part is different than the hilt. This is really solid. And I also really like this part here on his chest. That little bitty glow right there that came in, that extra piece. It's not much, but it's enough to really set him apart from some of the other model makes. Now, I've gotten a heck of a lot better just in the last couple of years in terms of building, in terms of just standard building. And I feel like if I got another one of these, I could shave out a lot of these imperfections that I see that kind of bother me. But for what he's worth, he's easily one of my all-time favorite units ever made. And he's going to go on that shelf, and he's going to look great. Which leads me to the last thing that we need to talk about. One of the greatest frickin' things ever introduced in Gundam, period. This. Norris Packard's custom goof. This thing is amazing. It is easily one of the coolest units ever made. Ever to have made an appearance. He has one of the greatest fight scenes in Gundam history. He is one of the greatest characters in Gundam history. He has one of the coolest units in Gundam history. It is, and when he appears in the game, the new Battle Operations 2, if you ever see me on there, this is probably what I'm using. This is what I've had the most success in the game piloting. I have won the room Many times. I have lost battles and still been ranked, because that's the kind of game where if you're not ready for it, I've made number one. I've ranked number one in the room multiple times and lost the fight because one guy simply cannot do it for their entire team. You got to have a team. You got to be able to talk with one another. It helps a lot. That is a tactics game. It is not just a run and gun. It's just the way that it is. This guy is solid. He is one of my all-time favorite units ever built in the history of all frickin' Gundam. Yeah. So that was it. They're all ready. They're all ready to go up on the shelf. That will be the final wave of these guys. And, yeah. We have now added these items back onto the collection. Back into the collection. Whatever. We did it. We're done here. Bye.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.